Mr. Abdullah, did Jimmy have one phone or multiple phones? Multiple. I believe you testified that some of those were encrypted Blackberries. Is that correct? Yes. Did the encrypted Blackberries communicate? Did they all communicate with other numbers? Objection. Let's talk about your encrypted Blackberry. Yes. Did you have one or multiple? I had a couple. Were you able to contact anyone you wanted from any of those Blackberries? The way I had it set up, I had a Blackberry that I just communicated to Jimmy and one other person on the West Coast. Then I had my other Blackberry that I communicated to everybody else. When Jimmy called you, did he always call you from the same number? Objection. I think it's call, Your Honor. Sustained. When Jimmy sustained, just a minute. Were you able to send and to have received by the person at the other end encrypted messages from your Blackberry if the person at the other end didn't have a compatible device, a device that could read the encryption? No. Let's start from there. Did the defendant communicate with you from more than one phone? Yes. And did the defendant sometimes not have all his phones with him to your knowledge? Objection. Overruled. Yes. So is it possible that the defendant would have a phone that would not communicate based on your relationship with the defendant and your knowledge of your own Blackberry and the defendant's Blackberry that would not communicate with someone else? Objection, Your Honor. Anything's possible. Sustained as to form. This isn't that hard, I think. Are you able to tell us, sir, if an encrypted Blackberry sending out an encrypted message can communicate with another mobile device that does not have encryption capability? No, it can't. Were there times when you received encrypted messages from the defendant on your encrypted Blackberry? Yes. And were there times you received messages from the defendant sent on unencrypted devices that you received on unencrypted devices of yours? Yes. Take it from there, please. Do you know whether the defendant's Blackberry communicated with Tori's Blackberry? Objection. Overruled. Do you know? At times if Tori and them they were connected via encrypted or Blackberry messages. Those were our two forms of communication. Okay, what did you do in response to that message you received? Tell Tori to hit the driver ASAP. I hit Tori up and said, yo, dude said hit his driver up ASAP. Tori responded back, okay. While you were in Atlanta, did you have any other communications with the defendant? Regular communication. The next day he hit me up and was like, yo, that bitch is out of here. When you say he'd hit you up, how did he hit you up? Blackberry, encrypted Blackberry. When you said he said, the bitch is out of here, at the time, what did you believe that meant? That our work was being mailed. What do you mean by work? Work. Coke was being mailed from LA. And did that understanding later change? Yes. We'll come back to that in a moment. Did there come a time when you returned to New York from Atlanta? Yes. Do you recall when that was? What day of the week? It was that Monday or Tuesday of the next week. Did there come a time when you met with Jimmy after you returned to Atlanta? Yes. Describe what happened. He hit me up and asked me if I still wanted to buy the watch from him. I told him yeah. He told me he was coming back into town. Let's meet up at Mobay. You said you were buying a watch from the defendant? Yeah, I was buying a Cartier watch from him. He is selling me this watch he had for like 25 grand, so I told him I'll buy it from him. And where did you say he suggested you meet up? On 125th Street at this restaurant Mobay. So he told me what time. It was in the evening. I went there to meet him. When I got there, he wasn't there. Teddy was there. Teddy had just got back from LA. Me and him was just kicking it. Is that the Teddy you referred to previously? Yes. So when you arrived there, was Jimmy there? Nah, he wasn't there yet. Did he arrive? Yes. Did he arrive with anyone else? Jason drove him there. And what happened when Jimmy arrived? When he came, he handed me a watch. I said, where do you want me to put the money? He said, put it in the back seat. Jason is in the car. Opened up the back seat of the car, said something to Jason, had the 25 grand in a little bag. I said, yo, this is for dude. He said, all right, put it on the back seat. You said what to Jason? I told him what's up. I said, yo, this is for dude. Who did you mean by this is for dude? For Jimmy. And then what did you do? Closed the door, and me and Jimmy and Teddy walked across the street to Mobay to see how long the wait was. We walked across the street. They told us to wait. It was long as usual, and we stood outside talking. And what did he say to you? Teddy, so he was like, the dude, Lodi Mac, came home and he was on his knuckles. He was broke. Told Slim that Yayo and them wasn't looking out for him. He didn't have no money. He was staying at his sister house in the Bronx. And Slim told him, well, I'm doing well for myself right now. I'm all right. I'm doing okay. I'll pull up on you and look out for you. Drop some paper on you. What does drop some paper mean? Give him some money. He said once that was situated, he had told Jason. Who is he? Jimmy said he told Jason to bring Slim 22 with a silencer up there to Slim for when Slim met up with the dude Lodi Mac. He said, that's why I hit you and told you to tell Tori to hit Jason up because I had Tori up there as the backup shooter. And I was like, backup shooter? He is like, yeah. And Jason was up there and he said, because when the dude came to meet Slim, Slim Man came from out of nowhere, started clapping the dude up, and the dude ran. He said, so I know what happened. You testified that he had previously messaged you, the bitch is out of here. Did you discuss that message during that conversation? Yeah, he told me. He said, that's why I hit you up. He said, that's why the bitch is out of here. I was like, yo, dude, I thought you was talking about that they had mailed work from LA. He was like, nah, the dude died. I was like, yo, don't you think that's gonna come back on you? You was just coming home and all? He was like, nah, he's a gangbanger. He's a known gangbanger. Could be a gang-related killer. Then Teddy interjected and was like, oh, it don't matter that it come back on him or not. It's already done. So if it come back on him or not, there's nothing he can do about it. He just gotta hold it. I was like, yeah, I guess. So did Jimmy tell you how the shooting had taken place? Nah, I just told you that. When the dude came to meet Lodi Mac man came from out of wherever he was hiding, started shooting. Are we going through the story again he just said 2 minutes ago? Just have a seat. Continue, please. That wherever he came from when he came to meet Slim to get the money, Slim Man came from wherever he was hiding at and started hitting him up with a 22. Just to summarize, who was there? Oh, man. Jason, Tori, his shooter, Slim Man, about 5 people there for that one dude. And I believe you testified that he said he had Jason bring a 22? Yeah. Do you know, did he say whether that had in fact happened? Yeah, that's where he was shot. Whose gun was that? That was Jimmy's gun. How do you know? Jimmy said it was his gun. Did he ever say he used that gun before? It was the same 22 he supposedly used on Chris' Lighty brother. Is that the incident you mentioned previously? Yeah. Did you participate in the planning of the murder of Lowell Fletcher? No. Did you participate in the murder? No. You mentioned at that day when you met up with the defendant, you purchased a watch from him? Yes. Did you get the watch? Yeah. He gave it to me that day. Have you ever worn the watch? Yeah. I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as Government Exhibit 1006. Do you recognize that photograph? Yes. Who is in the photograph? Me, Teddy, and Sean. Which one is you? In the middle. What are you wearing in this photograph? That's the watch right there. Government offers Government Exhibit 1006. Received. Could we please publish that? Is that the watch you purchased from the defendant that night? Yes. Did there come a time when you had a conversation with Jimmy about Slim after Lowell Fletcher was murdered? Later on that week, business transaction, he told me to tell Tori to pass Slim one of them things. At the end of the week, we were counting up, going through the numbers of the money that had to be sent back to LA. When I told him how much I had sent back, he was like, yo, seemed like the numbers is a little off. I was like, don't forget, you told me to have Tori give Slim one of them things. He was like, oh yeah, that was for the Bronx shit. I got to give him 2 keys for it. I was like, he wanted to get paid in drugs? He was like, yeah, that's what he wanted. I was like, that's crazy. What did you do in response to one of them things? I hit Tori up, told him to give Slim the key. When you say a key, what are you referring to? A kilo of cocaine. About how much was a kilo of cocaine worth at that time on the street? Going for about 30 grand. Do you know if Tori in fact did? Yeah, he gave him one. How do you know that? Tori hit me up and was like, yo, I gave that to Slim. And then you said there is a conversation after that. Is that correct? Yes. And you referred to the Bronx shit? Yeah. What did the defendant say about the Bronx shit? He said, I have to give him, Tori wanted 2 keys. Slim wanted 2 keys for it. Did there come a time when Tori was arrested? Yes. When did that occur? About April 2010. After Tori was arrested, did there come a time when you had a conversation with Jimmy about the murder in the Bronx? Yes. Can you describe for the jury how that came about? I had asked him what's going on with Tori case, kicking it. I said, why didn't they give him an offer yet? Because it's kind of strange this dude got caught in a stash house with drugs and guns. This is a knockdown case. He should have got an offer yet. What do you mean by offer? A plea should have been offered to him yet. And he was like, yeah, they didn't give him an offer yet. I said, that dude flipped on him, his man. I said, I think that was the same dude that he had with him in the Bronx that night. Who were you referring to when you said the dude who flipped on him? The dude, B-Love. Is that the same B-Love you referred to previously? Yes. What was it that you were saying B-Love had done? He had flipped on Tori. And so why was that relevant? So I was like, yo, he might have been the dude that Tori had with him in the Bronx. I said, that's the case. Then he told on drugs. He had to tell on the murder. So he was like, well, I don't know that dude. He don't know me. So it really can't bother me. The only person that can hurt me in this thing is Slim. And I had told Slim to lay low just in case. Going to direct your attention to December of 2010. Did there come a time when you contacted law enforcement agencies? Yes. Had you been arrested at that point? Nope. Without telling us, how were you made aware of the investigation into your participation in cocaine trafficking? Yes. Yes or no, did you receive information that members of the organization had been arrested and were cooperating? Yes. Did you receive information that the defendant was possibly cooperating? Yes. As a result of learning that information, what did you decide to do? He had some money that was going back to LA. I had my man Rudy pick it, and I had it up in the rehearsal studios. I had left, flew back to Atlanta, and so when some of this information came back to me, I hit Rudy up and was like, yo, do me a favor, go back to Smash Studios, take out about 4 of those envelopes, and just hold it for me until I get back into town. Once he hit me and told me that he took the money out the rehearsal studio, I told him leave it unlocked. Don't even lock it back. He took the money out and put it up for me. You just referred to a friend. Who was that friend? Rudy. What is Rudy's last name? Fernandez. What did you tell Rudy to do? Go there and take some money out. Where was he to take money out? Out this rehearsal studio case that we had at Smash Studios. What was that money from? Drugs, drug proceeds. Do you know how much money was there? A little more than $1 million. And the rehearsal studio. Do you know what rehearsal studio that was? Smash Studios. You had Rudy take that money. How much did you have him take? I don't know, about 4 or 5, a little more than 400,000, close to 5. Your Honor, if it's convenient for the court, this would be a good time for a morning break. Okay, 15 minutes, folks.